Thank you so much for watching this episode of SipTalk. I can't even begin to explain how happy it makes me to see people interact and see people watching this and commenting and reaching out to me by text and email, asking questions, asking follow-up questions, all related to this. I love adding real estate related topics. I love adding life related topics. I hope you enjoyed listening and watching to this. Also, I added some cool links down below, my favorite credit cards, some of the products that I use, some free stocks, some free cash. And these are apps that I really, truly use on a regular basis. I literally just found $1,000 in my Acorns account the other day. I checked it out to see what was in there. Acorns is a cool service where, say you buy something for $1.73, they round up to 27 cents. So you buy it on your debit card for $1.73. They charge you $2, and they throw 27 cents into a stock portfolio for you. I haven't noticed it. I don't even pay attention to it. A couple cents here, a couple cents there, like maximum 99 cents they're going to take from you. And they throw it in this account, and I haven't checked in a few months. Last time I checked, I cleared it out. There was nothing in there. I just checked in to see if I had a couple $100. If that, I had $1,000. So I would definitely sign up for Acorns if I was you. The other stuff is really cool. Check that out. If you have questions about this SipTalk or the topics that we're talking about, if you want to add ideas for future topics that you'd like to hear about, hit me up by text, hit me up by email, send something in the comments. I will definitely read it and reply. I'm very much in tune with this because, as you can see, it's a relatively new podcast and our viewership is still pretty low. On that note, please like this video. It really helps us with the metrics. It helps us all the way around. And if you can, subscribe and share. I would really appreciate that. This is SipTalk. Grab a drink and enjoy. Cheers.
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 Of course I spelled it.
So I want to talk about New York City etiquette and things you need to do as a New Yorker. You know, we work with a lot of people that are moving to the city that haven't spent much time in the city before.
Okay.
And I just think that both you and I could probably bring a decent amount to the table. You've been here for more than a decade, right?
Yeah.
I've been here for more than a decade.
Yeah, almost a decade and a half. Jesus.
Yeah, it's nuts. So, you know, I don't know exactly where to start. The one thing, it popped into my head, I was outside somewhere. I was either driving or walking, but it was just kind of about like crosswalk situation.
Okay.
So the thing is, because I drive a car, a motorcycle, a bicycle, walk, and take the subway, right? And I'll get on a bus here and there. But either way, they all go together because they all interact with each other, right? Like you get off the subway, you walk on the street, bicycle goes by you. So first things first, I would say no matter what, if you're about to step off the sidewalk, you look both ways. You look both ways, because even though the traffic might be coming from one direction, even on a one-way street, you got a bicycle coming the other way.
Okay, yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
That's very typical.
All right. So you got to look both ways before stepping off the sidewalk. In like 2012, I was in Charleston, and I hadn't lived there for a couple of years at that point. Walking down the streets are really narrow down there, and I stepped onto the street off the sidewalk because there was like a pole or something, and a car nearly clipped me. The girl I was dating at the time grabbed me and pulled me on the car, and right by me, literally this close. So, and that scared the shit out of me. You're not aware before shit like that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think about it, and then it happens, and it's on your mind all the time. So that's one, looking both ways. Anytime you step off the sidewalk.
Yeah.
What else can you think of?
Never stop in the middle of the sidewalk.
Mm.
That's probably
I think
pet peeve.
I think that's number one in terms of advice is when I stop on the sidewalk, because sometimes I got to look at my phone or I'll step in the way of something. So if there's a telephone booth, I'll step alongside the telephone booth because nobody was walking through the telephone booth anyways.
Yeah. But you look for somewhere to stop.
But the stopping is insane, right? Like you can't, people just stop and people run into them right behind them, which is nuts.
Yeah.
And then they both get pissed at each other.
I think because you have to remember, it's not very many places, but New York City, the sidewalks are wider than the streets.
In many places, yeah.
Well, for the entire Manhattan, we'll say, right? The sidewalks are wider than the streets, so there's always gonna be more people.
Well, we
on
commute.
the sidewalks
We
than
commute by
cars.
foot.
Yeah.
This is,
exactly.
I would say, this city in all of the U.S. There's more foot commuters or more foot traffic than there is in any other city. Most people are going to go on the subway and ultimately on the sidewalk by foot.
So the same way you treat cars,
Traffic. You wouldn't just slam on the brakes in the middle of the highway.
You have to treat the sidewalk just like it'd be the highway traffic, literally. So you just can't stop. You have to look both. You have to look before you just cross over. You have to make sure you don't hit somebody, bump into people.
But yeah, the stopping thing, the turning thing. Oh, diagonal walkers. I'm a little on the spectrum. So like I go with the lines. Like when you're driving, you obviously you don't watch the line, but you keep it the same.
You talk about people that like walking, they're like
they go diagonal. Yeah. You know, you drive and you kind of stay equidistant with the line, like you keep 3 feet from the line, and you stay. Yeah, and people that just walk diagonal, or somebody that'll come around a corner going straight. So they'll be walking straight, but they'll be crossing the corner, right? And they don't look around the corner; they just keep going straight. Right, like you hit the perpendicular intersection of the sidewalk on the corner, and people just walk straight through without looking. But I think, and also to that, like you should be checking your shoulders, like you would check your mirrors or something like that. If you're going to go into a store in your middle of the sidewalk, somebody could be walking behind you faster, right? But God, like that's one way to just get like fucking enraged on the street is
stopping and walking diagonal. Those two things are my biggest pet peeves on the sidewalk.
Yeah. The other thing that gets me is that there's a car that's got the light. Okay, say I'm going down a street, the car's coming up, and he wants to take a left turn. Okay, so he's coming to me like this, and it's going to ultimately cross in front of me. I'm not in the intersection yet, and that car waits. That pisses me off. Now they think they're doing something nice because they're like letting me go. But I know that they have the right of way, ultimately. Actually, I have the right of way, but I'm not there yet. So to fulfill my duty as a nice person, I have to speed up a little bit. Whereas if I was in the car, I'd be like, he's not there, I'll just go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But to fulfill your duty to uphold your duty as a nice person, you have to speed up. You know what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah.
So, like letting people go when you didn't need to, because now you're causing traffic behind you.
Gotcha.
Right?
Build up a traffic, yeah.
Ever tell you about my motorcycle accident? The one I totaled the bike?
No.
I never told you the story?
No, you told me about other ones, but not that one.
So this is pretty serious. I've never, like, you know where you have dreams where you're flying? Have you ever felt that in real life?
Oh, like when you're like flying but you fall out your bed?
Like, sure. But like the trampoline feeling, where like you jump on the trampoline, somebody else is jumping, and all of a sudden you're really 15 feet. You're 15 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
And then, but you have this additional air time that you weren't ready for.
Yeah.
That's literally like the weightlessness, like the going down the roller coaster thing. That happened to me in this accident. So this is the first bike. It was a bike I bought in like 2009 when I was in South Carolina. And I was coming home, it was a late night, I was doing some late night apps, so it was like 10 o'clock, wasn't much traffic. I'm going up 3rd Avenue, which for anybody watching is a one-way street, and it's like 4 or 5 lanes with parking on both sides.
Yeah.
And at 10 o'clock at night, you're allowed, after 6 or 7 o'clock at night, you're allowed to park on the streets, on the avenues. So I'm going up, speed limit at the time was 30 miles an hour. All right, so now it's 25 everywhere. Which it really should be 10 miles an hour nationally. All highways should be 10 miles an hour. I'll get on that later. But, so 30 miles an hour. I'm doing maybe 25 or so, 25, 30, because as you go in New York City, you know, you've been riding the scooter bike.
Thank you.
Threw the word bike in there for you. But you know that the lights are timed. So when you get a green light, by the time if you're doing the speed limit, by the time you hit the next intersection, that turns green. Now if you're going too fast, you're gonna have to slam on the brakes.
Slow down, wait.
Or you're gonna run the light.
Yeah.
Which, it was really funny yesterday. I was doing a solid 25 miles an hour or so up the West Side Highway before it gets on the highway. And I literally had like one hand on my waist, one hand on the throttle, and I was just keeping it at even keel. Like I wasn't going like this because it's tough with one hand on your waist, because if you're accelerating and decelerating, your body is going like this. You need the other hand to balance you, right? So I just got my hand steady. It's cool. It was hot yesterday. It finally cooled off a little bit. I had the face mask up, which you're probably not supposed to do. Legally, you're not supposed to do. I was cruising. There's another guy on a similar motorcycle. It's a year or two different paint scheme, but same bike basically. And he is like racing me. So because I was doing a steady 25, it was green for me. Green, 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 green. And what would happen is he was going so fast, he hit a red light and have to come to a stop. And then I'd just cruise by him. And then he'd race up past me and then slam on the brakes and stop again. So finally we got to the second or the last light. And at this point, like I'm going in between some cars, but he's like, now he's got to like bob and weave in between all the cars, because instead of being like one car behind, he's hitting some of these lights and there's traffic is getting in front of him and stuff. So at a certain point, he like got in the lane next to me, and the two lights right before you get on the highway where it hits 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour, turned green at the same time.
Okay.
I turned off, and he had gotten in the lane next to me and just started to rip. Like he must have thought that I was trying to race him because I kept passing him or something. Long story short, accident. So I'm cruising up 3rd Avenue, 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, and light turns green, which I was expecting it to do because all of the lights had turned green.
Yeah.
There's a Jeep Cherokee, mid-2000s body style, and it's like at least 4 lanes. So he's in lane 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I also happen to be in lane 3, but a ways behind him. So I come up from behind him, go into lane 4 because the light turns green, and as I get even with his car, a girl steps out from in front of him. Now what he had done was he was being nice and was like, I'll wait for you. He doesn't speak for the fucking 60 blocks of traffic behind him, right? Yeah. So she saw him wave, I'm guessing. I don't know really what happened, but I imagine she's crossing the crossroad. There's not much traffic. It's 10 o'clock at night. They have an agreement between the two of them. She must have looked down, probably didn't see me because I'm small and my bike isn't loud. And she didn't look back up. She didn't check. So she stepped out from in front of him, and I slammed her. The bike knocked her down to the ground right away. But as I came off the bike, I ripped the throttle, and the bike went up on its back wheel and spun around like a ballerina, and I went up over the bike, and I jumped because I'm like, I don't want the bike to land on me. I landed on the other side of the street in the crosswalk. So I literally flew through the air over the crosswalk and landed in the other intersection, which is like, luckily I like tucked and rolled. I was okay. I fucked up my shoulder a little bit, but that was it, and it totaled the bike. The bike just went spinning out of control, like shrapnel was flying off the bike and shit. Yeah. But that was a decently bad accident. So that was that story. I just thought I'd share. But when someone lets you go because they're being nice, there are other implications. They're not the fucking traffic god. They don't know. Yeah, there's a fucking 1,000 other cars in a 3-block radius that could come out of nowhere. That's another thing on the traffic. I always look upstream. So there could be stop traffic, and a lot of people just walk across the street. Like, oh, I have the light. But I always look upstream because there could be a bicycle or a motorcycle or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I always look to see what's
like
coming.
people just don't, and I watch all the time because I'm super observant of the people.
Won't stop at the clearly marked red light. Not the
that's
red
the
light,
other point,
not
though.
The yellow light that turned red, but the light that is
no,
red.
the light's red.
And that's my big
fear.
So I always, and then I walk.
But when there's a car coming, I like sometimes I'll pull up pretty quick and like brake hard at the last minute, and somebody will be in a crosswalk like a little scared or something, and I'm like, that's the right reaction. Versus the motherfucker that like doesn't look, or like looks at me and like and just keeps walking. Like that's how you fucking die.
That is death.
Like you're relying on a complete stranger.
Yeah, no.
You're relying on a complete stranger that they're gonna stop. It's fucking New York. Like people run over people for fun these days.
Yeah.
You know, which is insane.
That's my biggest fear. So I always like, I wait. Once I see all cars come to rest, then I will.
Yeah. On that note, on the traffic note, taxis.
Oh, easy.
Yellow
Get
cab.
Uber.
I like yellow cabs.
Get
I like.
Uber.
I don't like having to do the prep work where you open the app, you gotta type in the address. I just want to walk outside, put my hand up, and get a cab, which is becoming increasingly difficult over the last couple of years because there's less cabs, there's more Ubers.
Yes.
Like typically, you can just walk outside, stick your hand up, and get a cab,
That's
unless it's raining.
questionable, but the taxis have done it to themselves. The best way I can say it.
No, I know where you're going with
Taxis
this.
have done it to themselves. Uber is the easiest thing to do. I mean, and there's so many rideshare programs. You can use Via, you can use Uber, you can use Lyft. I mean, there's so many rideshare programs coming out that I will agree. If I know I'm going somewhere really, really quick, yellow cab is typically a cheaper thing to do, and the quickest to get a hold of versus ordering an Uber or something. But
Sometimes, yeah.
typically, because like you said, you just go out, hold your hand out, and depending on the time of day and the weather of the day, determines how fast you're gonna get that cab pulled over for you. And
Well, yeah, the time of day also.
yeah, time of day, because if you try to do it in the evening time when everybody's going out to dinner, there's like a sporting event or something like that, forget about it. That all cabs are packed.
Or if it's raining.
Or
Yeah,
if it's raining.
yeah.
I almost feel like you don't see any cabs on the street when it rains.
But I feel like it would be really easy to implement something in cabs that allow. Well, I mean, they already do a taxi hailing thing
Yes.
in the. I have the curb apps. When I
Yeah.
get in the cab, I open the app, and at that point, I only have to open the app once I'm in the car, right? And then I can link.
Once you get it held, then you can link it to your card and.
Well, yeah, and I can link it, and then your flashlight's on, by the way, on your phone. But I can link it, and it auto pays when I get out. Which sometimes I'll be busy, I'll forget to do that, I'll be on the phone or something, and then you can just tap to pay. But point is, they implement technology pretty quickly into cabs.
Which is
but
good, because I remember when I lived here, everything was cash only.
yeah,
When I first moved here.
but also, I totally lost my train of thought. Because cabs are dirty as shit.
It's smelly.
They smell bad. The drivers smell bad. Like there's no rating.
Taxis don't have air conditioning in most
Yeah,
cabs.
yeah. Whereas every Uber, they're like, think about cabs, how old those cars are. A lot of them are, like, you can still probably get a Crown Vic.
Well, I say you might see a Lincoln Town car here and there, but for the most part, most of these cabs are all like the same as the Ubers, the Camrys and the Corollas.
But then why are they in such shittier condition?
I feel like the way that they configure them and fabricate them to become taxis with the shield up and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
they
but a lot of
protect the
taxis
driver.
don't have the shield up.
Well, but to protect the driver, right?
Well, but let me.
They cut off-
There's,
they
there's
cut
so
off
many
air
taxis.
circulation,
Yeah,
they
there's so
cut
many
off
taxis these days
stays.
that don't have.
They
Actually,
put-
okay,
they put the
but
bullshit
prior
seats in there.
prior to March, there were so many taxis that didn't have the divider up. I felt like the dividers were almost
Yellow
going away.
taxis?
Yellow cabs, yeah. And I got in. I'm like, do you feel safe? Like, I felt a little uncomfortable for the person driving the car. However, now even the Ubers are putting up like plastic partitions.
Well, that's because of the
coronavirus.
virus, though.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm trying to think.
Think of all the green cabs, the borough taxis. A lot of those
Borough
guys don't
taxis
have
may
it.
not have it. I
And a lot of yellow
that.
cabs
But
don't
the
have it.
yellow ones, I feel like every time I've gotten one, there's always been a divider. Because I always feel like I'm trying to yell something to them so they can hear.
Sometimes, yeah, but it's much more common in a yellow cab.
Well,
But
no,
I've
you know
seen.
what? I agree. The minivan yellow cabs don't have the divider.
Well, those are handicap accessible ones. Okay, so the thing about hailing cabs. So here's an ultimate tip on hailing cabs. If the numbers in the middle of the light, and there's a light on top of the cab, and there's two lights on the side, and then there's numbers in the middle. So those numbers are illuminated. You can hail the cab. It means they're free. If the lights on the outside are illuminated, it means they're off duty. And if there's no lights illuminated, it means
They have a ride.
yeah, they have a cab fare currently. A lot of people don't know that, especially
Yeah.
because we have hotels left, right, and center.
And honestly, I learned that from you, but it wouldn't matter. They're either going to stop or they're not going to stop.
Well,
That's what I've learned.
But yeah, that's one way to look at it. But they're definitely not going to stop if they're not available.
All right, they're not stopping.
Mm.
Here comes Justin. The lights are not illuminated.
Also, here's a thing about they ask every mayoral candidate this question: do you tip your taxi drivers? You're supposed to tip your taxi drivers.
That's it.
What do you tip?
It depends on where I'm going.
I usually tip 10%.
It depends on where I'm going and how they are. If they're an asshole, they get $1. If they're pretty nice people in your team, 10 to 20%.
I get really mad though because I typically tell them I take the same route often enough that when I'm jumping in a cab to take the route, I know the best way, and they always have their own way they want to go.
Yeah, nothing infuriates me more than someone trying to go their way.
Well, when you're paying for the ride,
or when they miss your turn and now it takes longer to get where you're going.
Yeah. Oh God, that does piss me off when somebody misses a turn.
That is a no-tip ride.
Oh yeah, 100%. I always ask them to cut the meter. If they overshoot it or they mess it up, I ask them to cut the meter.
I just get really, really political, and they usually cut it for me. But
give me something else because I got a few notes, but you're coming to this fresh.
So, moving to New York City, things to know. Always be moving. I think we kind of hit on that with the sidewalk stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, this, you have to kind of just have everything planned, even if you don't have it planned. Like, I was thinking about that today when I was coming here. My entire route here, when I ride down here, or if I get to take a train or something like that, everything is planned to a T. Like, here's the cart door I need to get in. Here's the door I get out so I can get by these stairs. I can exit here. Everything that you're doing is moving so that you're not stuck looking for something.
Oh, yeah. I would say,
kind of like always have a plan, if that makes sense. Like, always.
I mean, optimize your traveling. You shouldn't get to, if you gotta like switch trains and stuff, like you shouldn't like not know where you're going in advance and have to, because then you look like a tourist, and you're definitely gonna get taken advantage of if you're a tourist.
I don't know if that still happens these days. I mean,
it happened to my cousin like last summer. She came up, they got a hotel in New Jersey, and they were trying to figure out how to get, they were like buying tickets or something, and somebody came up, a very helpful gentleman, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then of course help them and then ask for money.
Oh, duh.
But it was worth it.
But it's funny you say.
But he knew that they were a target based on the fact that they kind of got there, like looked at their phones, talking to each other, like looking at the machine. Like they didn't know already what they needed to do, or had they asked the hotel, like, you know.
So they would have been good to go.
They got the out of country treatment.
Yeah,
you go to another country and people want to help you, and then they're asking you for $1.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it works. But, you know, if you look like a tourist in New York City, there's so many opportunists here. Someone is going to find the opportunity to take advantage of you.
I do agree. I mean, at the same time, as plenty times I've been on training, you can hear people talking and asking for how to get to a certain location here or there.
Well, then
you always get a bunch of people helping out. But I think it comes back to what you're saying is when and where and how you're asking the question.
Well, also,
to train in a public environment versus you're staring at the machine that you can't figure out how to buy the Metro card.
A real New Yorker really keeps to themselves and respects personal privacy and personal space. So if you're asking for help and somebody is offering you help, they probably have an agenda. Maybe not, but they may realize that if I heard somebody ask me...
So if someone came to you right now on the sidewalk, you're walking, someone says, excuse me, how do I get to Fifth Avenue?
I would give them advice. If I was walking up on them where they had asked you for advice, and I was walking up, and then
you chimed in.
But if I chimed in, but I'm thinking I might chime in if you were giving the wrong advice.
Okay.
Right, but I don't think like that third party who chimes in, if they are like really eager to help, they probably have an agenda.
Okay. I mean, there's been plenty of times someone said, "Oh, how do I get to such and such?" I'm like, oh, well, I'm going there if you want to get off here. And then when I get off the train, I'll point, like, you go this way. And I'll go about my business. And for some reason, I always make it my business to not go whichever direction they're going, even if I do need to go that direction. I'm like, well, you're going to go that way. Have a good one. And I go the other way.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but the tourist thing is nuts. The tourists also don't know. Like, this block, I put something on Twitter this morning with a video of this block, and it actually got a decent amount of comments, and other people posted pictures, and I tagged them of this block. I tagged the mayor.
Special talents.
It's just this block has gotten really, with the scaffolding, they're basically building fucking drug dens.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the guy was smoking. He had a pipe. I would have given him the benefit of the doubt that it was weed, but I don't think it was weed. I'm pretty sure it was crack. I don't know that much about crack to like know the difference, but I didn't get the weed vibe. So, but yeah, just he's sitting on an office chair because there are a lot of offices on this block. So he's just sitting in an office chair like this, and he's got this pipe and he's like lighting it, and he's in like a corner of the scaffolding. There's another guy on another office chair,
doing the same thing.
passed the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like people just like laying on the street. They look dead, like they're wrapped in all these old raggedy clothes, and anytime their skin's showing, it's like the skin is rotting.
Yeah.
Which is like, it literally is like the fucking, I mean, we talked about this the last time. It's like this zombie apocalypse because these people look like fucking zombies.
Yeah,
and they're on so many pain meds, which is usually how they end up here. They end up, they get prescribed some opioid pain medicine. The pain never really goes away. You can't take an opioid, Oxycontin type thing forever.
It's not gonna, yeah.
And then you end up, whatever happens. But then you go to heroin or whatever it is, and you end up at a methadone clinic, or you know somebody who is. I don't know. I looked up this methadone clinic when I was making the tweet to make sure like I was right. It's got 4 stars.
Oh,
so
that's good shit.
People must be happy going there. But I'm surprised that like nobody else has complained about it in the neighborhood. I mean, I get it. You gotta have a methadone clinic somewhere, but like the fucking nuclear fallout from this place is like it's fucking radioactive block.
Same thing in East Harlem, though.
I mean, I remember when I was crashing at that place on 103rd. Remember that 2018?
Oh yeah, you were talking about all the miles and stuff. You see me.
But I'd run around the perimeter of Central Park, so I'd run 103rd along the park up to 110, across Central Park North, and then down to like the 96 entrance on the east side. And the first time I ran, I saw all these. I thought there was a water balloon fight over the weekend because you're in Central Park. Like Central Park is not a dangerous, bad place. You don't typically see a lot of drug activity.
You thought.
I thought the kids were having a water balloon fight, and all these little pieces of the, you throw a water balloon, you don't pick. When was the last time you had a water balloon fight and you pick up the pieces, right? Yeah. Exactly. So I just thought there were scraps of water balloons, different colors. I didn't realize until 2 or 3 days in of running that these are the caps of needles. Different colored caps of needles. White, green, blue, red caps. And they were stuck like in the cracks and all over the place on the street. I mean, thousands and thousands of them. So these people just sleep in the park, wake up, pop up, and I think there's also a methadone clinic pretty close nearby. So, but just, I just don't know how these people are kind of like escaping, like, I don't know how there's nothing being done. Like, yeah, everybody deserves to be treated equal, everybody deserves housing, like, but drugs are still illegal, and these people are using drugs on the street. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't know how nothing's being done about it.
When they pick and choose who goes to jail.
I'm sure, like, you don't even want to, like, would you want to arrest somebody who's probably got needles on them?
That's my point.
But,
More importantly, would you want to give them jail?
They're non-violent, yeah.
But it costs money.
It costs money.
So, is that the person you put in there that can't make you any, that can't, not to go on that tangent, but, yeah.
But yeah, I get it, but like, and then these people get out of jail and go back and do the same thing. Yeah. If they go to jail, they rob a store to go to jail to get a free meal.
Yeah, honestly. Like, think about it. They get a meal, they get a schedule, they detox.
Okay, so a little detox, or they go fucking nuts.
No, they will have to detox.
Yeah, but they could get like
a detox program.
Oh god, which is then they end up back in a methadone clinic because that's part of detox. What's that?
Now they're in jail. They get that.
But when they get out, they're going to have to, the court's going to assign them to go to a methadone clinic. Either way, we're talking about New York City etiquette and tips on being a New Yorker. Point is, use your discretion with giving these people money, one. But also realize that there are enough programs out there that if these people want food and shelter, it's theirs. These people choose to ask for money so they can do drugs on the street. And I would say 80-ish percentage of these people out there are doing drugs.
That's a good number.
And they're using the money to buy drugs on the street. But really, there's enough programs in New York City to help house the homeless and feed the homeless. A proactive homeless person can use these programs.
Someone looking for housing will get.
Someone looking for it, exactly. Yeah.
But I think that's the same way like someone looking for a job will find a job. You know what I mean? Like,
if
you're not picky and you just want something, you'll find something. But if you're not looking, Or are you gonna be picky? Or are you doing this and the third? It's more like you're just better off saying what you want than actually going for what you want.
Oh my God, the fucking zombie apocalypse. I mean, you see these people with like stubs of limbs.
Yeah, but what other etiquette things could we think of for this new New Yorker moving in?
So we talked about
There's
subways.
apps for everything. Even with the subway, you can download a subway app.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
there's apps for, and there's parking apps, there's subway
How to get
apps.
to wherever you want to go. Google Maps now has the subway connected to
I got a good one. How about where to stand on the platform? So say you need to be on East 12th Street in the subways, and you're on 68th, you're on 72nd Street, and you get on the subway at 72nd Street. It's smartest to walk to the south end of that platform, because when you have to know what the 14th Street subway looks like. But once you do it 2 or 3 times, you'll realize, is there an exit that'll let you out on 13th Street or something? Yeah, having a plan, rather than looking around and being lost when you get off the subway.
You need to be the second car from the back to get off right in front of your door.
But typically, if I'm going to 34th Street and our office is on 35th Street, especially on the Blue Line, I will walk to the north side of the track because it'll let me out on 35th, even though it's a 34th Street station.
I usually get on the second to last car, the third door off the 1 train. Because it'd be right in front of the gate, walk right up, and I'm on 2, 3 train.
And then you're right here.
Yeah. On the 2 or 3 train, it's the last car, last door.
Yeah,
So
even if you don't know, pay attention.
Yeah, you pick it up real quick. Even when we're going home, because one thing I hate, as much as we walk, no one wants to inconveniently walk more than they have to. If you have to rush
why would you walk an extra block or 2?
Yeah, if you have to rush for a train is one thing, but even when I go home, I make sure I get on the same train, the same car, the same door, so I can get off right in front of my stairs, walk up the stairs, out the train platform to my house. Very, very simple. Coming here, same thing. I get off the train to transfer my other train. I'm right in front of the walkway that takes me to the stairs, transfer to the next train. I will even miss a train just to get to the car that I need to get to.
Really?
Yeah. If I don't, I won't purposely miss it, but I'll do the best I can to get sparred as close to that cart door as I need to. And if I can't get to that cart door right before they close the door, I'll get on the train.
But I'll get on too.
I can to get as close to that cart door as possible. Even if it means I have to power walk before the train pulls up.
Yeah. Empty subway cars, getting on an empty subway car is not something you do. It usually means somebody took a shit in there, or somebody who shit themselves slept in there.
Or no air conditioning.
Or in the summertime, or no AC.
Or all 3 combined.
That's the fucking trifecta there. Empty subway cars are a no-no. Walking between the subway cars. You ever walk between subway cars?
Yes.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. People die that way.
You're also not supposed to jaywalk, but...
Well, yeah. Yeah. And you're seeing the signs that say, what's that thing, no subway surfing? Where you put your body in the doorway of the subway car?
People used to hang on the side of the car.
Yeah, which is nuts. Imagine
I would not do that.
No fucking way.
No.
I will change trains here and there, but I watch the people that go in between the cars, and they're usually not the most kind of savory looking people. They're usually pretty rough looking people. So I'm like, well, these guys are going between the cars. Nobody else. I don't typically see the doors open in between subway cars. Hang on, hear me out. I don't typically see the doors open and someone enter my car who looks put together. And by typically, I can't think of once ever I've seen someone get onto my subway car from the in-between doors that looked professional. However, on a regular basis, somebody will come out of that no man's land in between the cars onto my car that looks like a pretty rough.
So you're saying people that just hang out in that?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying. I've walked between, but in the past, like when I was new to New York, but I don't do it anymore. However, the people that I see do it are rough-looking people.
Car or something like that, and the car doors is closed. I will walk through the car to get to air conditioning.
Well, especially if you're uptown and you're on an express and it's going to be like 12 minutes before your next stop.
Oh yeah.
Like then I would probably do it then. But
every now and then I may take the cart with no air.
Yeah.
Just for one stop, and even still that one stop is like the longest one stop ever for some reason. Like, it's just 2 minutes, and then it turns out to feel like it's 10.
God. And the subways, but that's the thing about minding your own business here and minding people's personal space. And like if somebody bumps you, you should just say, excuse me, muffled, and keep to yourself, because people get fucking pissed. Well, especially when it's hot out. So hormonal. Yeah, I would say hormonal is right. People get Like, you bump into somebody, or somebody bumps into you, but they think you bumped into them, and before you know it, they want to fucking rip your hair out.
Or at least call you names.
But at least call you names, very loud, and draw a lot of attention to shit. But in terms of keeping yourself also, I was thinking like celebrities. I don't ever pay attention to that shit. I thought I saw Adrian Brody yesterday. It was very, very strange.
I mean, I don't know. They're so.
I'm not a big celebrity type person.
Yeah, I don't geek out on things like that. I mean, remember that time we were walking to Whole Foods and we walked past Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
And didn't even realize it till like, I was like, he looks familiar. They turned around and saw security, like, oh, that's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, like, we walked in, like, in front of him, or like, right next to him.
We were like 3 feet away from him.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of people, especially a non-New Yorker, would have turned around, taken their phone out, taken a picture of that person, or tried to take a selfie with that person in the background. And, like, that's not the way a New Yorker would handle that situation. A New Yorker would handle the situation like we did. Oh, that was Kevin Hart? Yeah, I think, oh, it's okay. Yeah, security, it's definitely him. All right. On to the next. But yeah, not like freaking out about celebrity. I told you I saw Naked Cowboy the other day?
Yes.
I told you I talked to him?
You told me you pointed at your camera phone.
No. The day before, I just happened to be like driving through, and again, I was hitting the lights perfectly. And I'm like, I got the camera, I got my hands are free, I'll pull out the camera. And I held it up, and he's like, I don't know what he did. He pointed and like did I don't remember what he did. But the day prior, I bicycled in, and because my fucking foot hurt, and I didn't want to park the bike and walk from where the motorcycle parked, because that's a walk. If I bicycle, I'm not really putting any pressure on it, and I can just pull up here, get on the elevator, and walk in and sit down.
Yeah.
But I stopped at the traffic light right in front of him. I was on the bike. He was on the corner, and I was using the sidewalk. Like on the bicycle, I can keep one foot on the pedal, and then if I have to put the other foot on the ground, I get hit in the fucking nuts with the bike seat or the bar. So I put one foot on the sidewalk. But, I was this close to the guy. I mean, everybody is close to the cowboy. But I just started talking to him. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but point is, it's just, like I just ended up not on purpose being like right, like this close to the naked cowboy in his fucking underwear with his guitar in the middle of the street. And he's like, oh, glad to see you working, man. He's like, yeah, light change. I'm like, all right, man, have a nice day. I mean, he was basically naked, though. So that was a little strange interaction. But I wasn't trying to take his picture and shit. Although you spoke here's a good one. The people that are dressed up, the characters that are dressed up in Times Square. First of all, most of them don't speak English that well.
Because they're characters. Because they're characters.
They're not supposed to talk, but. The characters in Times Square, Elmo, Batman, Robin Hood. I don't think there is a Robin Hood. Pictures aren't free. So you take a picture of that person, you're supposed to give them money. How much money is?
They tell you how much before you take the picture.
You take the picture.
Or they will chase you.
You take the picture without asking, and then they're gonna come after you.
No, they will chase you.
Yeah.
They're not even a chance you to take the picture without asking. They chase.
So, what is it? 5, 10?
It's like $10.
I didn't make you money.
It's like $10 to $20 for a picture.
But that's like I feel
you're
like
taking it from your phone, which is even funnier.
From your phone of them, they own the rights of their image, supposedly.
Already, but
which is they're buying an Elmo costume, and they're not paying Elmo for it. But $5, yeah.
No, it's 10 or 20, yeah. And you get to use your phone, which is the bonus.
Yeah, it's interesting. But now there's only, it's been a few years, there's only a certain section that they can transact in.
They're just in that walking area now where the street is, where the street can't drive anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you come to New York City, I'm going to go to Times Square and get my picture taken.
Real New Yorkers stay out of Times Square.
My picture taken with Puerto Rican Batman. Like, I don't mean that derogatively,
Batman
but you know what I mean, right? Like, come on in. We're talking about characters in cinema. It's the casting couch here.
Hey, wake up! You watching the SipTalk? You listen to the SipTalk? One quick question: if you know somebody who has a real estate need, or if you have a real estate need yourself, shoot me a text, 212-239-1839, or send me an email. I would love to help you, your friend, your relative, with whatever they need real estate related. We are based in New York City and the outer boroughs. So, and if I can't help you, I promise to refer you to somebody who can. All right, that's it. Keep going.
That's not cool.
You want a beer? You want a scotch or something?
What do you got?
I have the same scotch.
Yeah, it's not a big ass thing of Corona.
Well, I got Corona if you want Corona.
Yeah, it's rosé.
What are you doing?
He's got rosé.
Rosé.
Scotch.
Mm-hmm. Which cup did you use the other day?
I have no idea.
You're getting the same one.
How are we fancy drinking rosé?
It's just, regular bottle wine.
Oh, that's what I had it for.
Well, I'm a heavier guy these days.
How much
You know
was
that.
it again?
What's that?
How much was it again?
27 pounds overweight.
We don't have ice, right?
Yeah, there should be an ice cube in there.
Nice for your scotch.
You gotta break it out of one of these things.
You don't
Um,
Well, it's because it's not cold.
Okay.
Yeah, so you heard it first
When I
here.
said that.
27 pounds overweight. I mean, I was a little heavy coming out of winter season, but what happened is I really went out hard running at the beginning of the coronavirus because I'm like, fuck, I have all this time. I have all this time to run. So instead of having to like push 2 miles fast, like before I go to work, I'm going into work at noon. Like I'll go out and do 5-7 miles. I'm running up to like 125th. And I'm like not even like I'm being pretty relaxed about it. I'm not going fast. Give it to me. You can't get it out. There you go. Just do me a favor. Just carefully put it in the glass. So I got these nice glasses at home. What did I tell you? I got these nice glasses at home, and I put one of these glass circle balls in there. I went like this. The glass is empty, and I just went pop.
It broke.
And the whole glass shattered.
Yeah.
So every time I go to put ice in any cup, I'm just like, I got to be careful. Either way, I fucking broke my foot. I either have plantar fasciitis or a heel spur, but I'm pretty sure it's a heel spur, and potentially plantar fasciitis, which is insane. Like I could barely walk after running.
That's also like 28 pounds.
That doesn't help. But now, like, I haven't been able to run for all of coronavirus. I went out last week and did a 2-mile run easily, and I tried to stay on my toes for most of it. And that night, it hurt so because it's loose now. It doesn't hurt. When I run, it gets looser.
Yeah.
When I finish running, it tightens up, and that's where the real pain happens. And I also can't fucking walk. So I wake up in the middle of the night and like. I'm also like the way I put weight on my foot, I'm like rolling the fucking ankle, so now my ankle hurts. It's bad. But then I got the rower, and I've been rowing in the morning and the evening, and I row pretty aggressively. And now I'm afraid I'm gonna fucking hurt my back. My back's been in pain for the last week. So like last night I came home like I'm not gonna do anything. The night before
How big is that rower? I remember you went to.
It's fucking huge. It wouldn't fit in this. You couldn't fit it in this office as the office is configured right now.
Exactly. So how the hell did you get in?
I put 2 parts in the back of the car. I had to take the top down. It was a day that it fucking poured 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but how did you get in your apartment?
It's just like diagonally in the living room. I had.
Is it your new dining room table now?
Now it's like where the coffee table is. Coffee table's pushed over, and there's just a rower in the middle of the room. So.
Beside the TV.
In front of the TV, like the console under the TV, and the coffee table's out of the way. And it's literally against one of those aviator chairs. The aviator chair is like crooked against the wall, the coffee table's out of the way. Great machine, I love rowing. And I row on a couple times a week normally at the gym. But now if I'm rowing twice a day, I'm just gonna destroy my back. So I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm just getting old, man. Like this is tough shit.
Yeah.
So.
It took me 2 years to lose 30 pounds.
Yeah. I just want gyms to reopen.
It took me 12 months to gain it, though. Ain't that something?
12 is a long time. You took your time. I did it in 3 months.
This is true.
So, what we were talking about is the guys that dress up in Times Square, that if you try to take a picture of them, they'll chase you down.
If you don't pay
They get money for pictures.
Right.
So, do you know how much it is? Do you know how much it is?
It's like $10 or $20.
Somewhere.
I was hoping
It's
you would,
definitely not 5.
hoping you wouldn't taint his answer. and we just get a guess from
I don't want
him.
people thinking it's $5. That's bullshit. New York City, not a mobile hour.
Oh, Adam's watching this. He hasn't called or returned anybody's texts. Adam's like, I'm working. He's gonna be so pissed. He's gonna be so pissed. But he sends me a video. He's like, I'm working. I text him 10 minutes later. 2 hours go by. He has not returned the text. I'm like, dude, like, what happened? You were so busy using your phone and computer. You didn't see your phone. What happened?
He's a coder now, so he has to focus.
Is he coding?
Yeah, he's coding.
Adam's gonna kill me. Adam's gonna kill me for saying that. Adam, you were invited to be here. You're not here to defend yourself, so sorry about that, man.
He did call me back though.
He called you, but he texted me back 2.5 hours later. Nice shoes, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, good for you.
They're
Yeah.
warm, but very nice.
They're warm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking hot outside. How much a pair of shoes like that,
I
Ron?
don't do shorts though, so. No,
I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. I know that they're not. I
I
know.
got a pretty good deal, so I spend how much they actually are.
Oh God, I don't even. It's not even my world these days. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to the Bowery and see if I can buy back the shit that I donated 2 years ago. After this fucking coronavirus shit, like, it's bad. Now, like, I really think about spending money. I mean, I still spend it, but like, I think really hard about it.
Yeah, I had to buy new hats, and I was
So
like,
you needed a new hat?
And I got one in every. Got a black one, a navy, red.
Damn.
And honestly, I don't even wear
That's-
hats, but because I haven't had a haircut in almost 4 months, it's like I refuse to come outside without a hat on. It's like
Yeah.
these like.
Rosh, are you sure on this? Rosh said $4. He said Grover, Elmo, and Daisy. I don't know who Daisy is.
Fucking $4. It's $10 for a picture.
$4.
They're all short and they all work together. They're like $10 to $20 for a picture.
You got like a coupon from like Groupon or something?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start selling. I'm gonna start.
They're
So you
cash-only
could
business.
pull that. Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of just Groupon is you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Groupon's such a shit. Have you guys tried to make a Groupon for anything?
No, what would
I did remember when Bruno was going to offer cooking classes and it was like $150 or $200. So basically we listed a $200 cooking class, but it had to be that we listed it for $100 and then they take like 30%.
Yeah.
So it was a $200 class and he was making $70 on it.
Well, you thought Groupon just let you advertise for free?
Well, I thought like we could maybe offer like lesser discount
GoFundMe takes commission out of every single
that's insane.
fundraising campaign they do.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
All right, what tips do you have?
GoFundMe's like, oh, you raised $1 million? God bless you.
Um,
How
Or
much?
30%?
Oh, Rosh said they asked. Rosh said they asked $4 in 2011. 2011 was
9 years ago.
that was 60 years ago, Rosh.
2011. I think my daughter was like
I was in
1.
college.
Yeah, I was still doing dumb shit. I was like in my early 20s.
I'm still doing dumb shit. I need some tips for a New Yorker. New York etiquette, New York tips for somebody who's
Someone
moving
just
to New York
moved to
City.
New York.
Or somebody who's been here forever that just does stupid shit that they shouldn't do.
Don't see the Statue of Liberty.
Don't,
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty. I took the Staten Island Ferry the other day.
You can
That's
see it for
real.
free.
Yeah, but it's a hell of a lot smaller than I thought it was. I just always thought it was really far away. That's why it looks so small. But we're like coming up on the fucking thing, and I'm just like, oh, there's a car there coming up to his elbow. The car's only 6 feet off the ground. No, okay, but you get my point. I'm exaggerating, but I'm just like, holy fuck! Like I thought this thing was like, because when I do the fucking Stairmaster at the gym, and they're like, oh, you just climbed the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm just like, oh, it's like my apartment. My apartment is higher than that.
How many stories do you think it is?
I don't have any idea. That would be a good question for someone else
I just
with a
like looking
computer.
at it. I mean, only time I like Statue of Liberty is if there's a park with a view of it.
Well, if you can
Kinda nice.
see it, that's
Yeah,
cool.
It's like you know, I have Statue of Liberty in my view. Now that's like, all right, that's a selling point.
But I was severely
outside of that,
underwhelmed.
yeah. it's
So
not-
don't see the Statue of Liberty.
I've never seen the Statue of Liberty actually.
What
Well, I'm
what
sorry.
touristic
I'm sorry. I've never taken a tour to see the Statue of Liberty. I've seen
what
the Statue.
what touristic shit would you recommend someone do?
So I actually don't think I did anything. Like I never did the buses. I've never done the Statue of Liberty.
Don't do the bus.
I've done the Empire State Building.
I've never been to the
See-
Empire State Building.
See, I would
It's an
I would
off
suggest
camera
Top of
story.
the Rock rather than Empire.
I've heard that.
Oh,
but
so
I-
you have a color one?
Yeah, you could
Yeah, that's
see
a
the
good
Empire
one. And
State
you see the Empire State
Building.
Building. Yeah.
You're not on it. You know?
I did the
It's
tour.
higher. I think it's higher.
I did a Circle Line cruise with my mom a couple summers ago.
Is that the dinner cruises?
No, but I would totally do a dinner cruise, I
The
think.
dinner cruise, I didn't do a dinner cruise, but I've done like the cruise, like the little parties on the boat water.
Yeah, so if you want to
I've
do a
done
cruise, just do that. Go to a party on the
I
boat.
would-
Oh god, we did.
Water.
We did that. Maybe it was last. No, it was last summer.
Last year.
Were you on that one?
No.
Oh no, you weren't.
No.
You weren't in. I was like not. I didn't want to go, but I felt like it was somebody's birthday, so like I was like I want to go to the birthday, but I just like I had the motorcycle helmets with me. Shiraz's I wanted to go to Shiraz's birthday, but like I didn't want to get stuck in the water for like 4 hours.
That's why I stopped going. I remember they used to take off at midnight or 10 and come back at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's why I also
6
thought
hours on the
it
water.
ended up being a little quicker than I thought it was going to be, but I like wasn't really drinking that much. I wasn't having a nice time at all, and I had to guard and protect these helmets. And then like somebody got a hold of the fucking helmets, and they got like drinks, and they're like throwing shit around. Somebody's putting the helmet on, dancing around.
I saw that.
The helmet's just covered in fucking beer and liquor. It's fucking sticky. Like that goes in my fucking head, jackass. Like it's not a toy. It's a fucking It's a $900. It's a $900 like piece of protective equipment. Like it's not. It's not a fucking toy.
It's a beer holder.
Yeah. And of course, there's like a fucking, you know, and I let it go for a little while because, you know, because like people are getting amped up. There's, you know, they look like fucking Daft Punk. People are jumping around, and I'm just like, guys, like, come on. I finally took it back. I cleaned it up. I just went and sat in the back and drank some.
I don't even know if I still like parties. I've been on quarantine so long. I don't even know is that my thing anymore?
What, being social?
No, I
That's what a party is.
No,
That's what.
like actually like loud music. Like I used to love. You guys know I used to love going out, being out, and just being in loud music.
I definitely
had my loud music, a
100%.
drink, and hookah. I was the happiest man ever. I didn't have to go fraternize or meet or socialize with anyone. I could just stay at my table and be perfectly fine. I don't know if I could do that now. I'm always curious. I know I still like loud music.
You
'cause my
think
music's
so
loud
until
all the
you're
time.
there.
Okay, so
Well, actually, I'm actually breaking
let me-
it down.
let me
I actually started to
redirect
break
this.
it down. I was like, maybe I am because I was like,
yeah,
well,
you're breaking it that much.
because I was like, I still like loud music because my music's loud. I still smoke hookah.
But let me turn this around.
There's one-
Going out tips for somebody who's new to New York.
Don't go to
Well,
any gimmicky club.
What's a gimmicky
here's the
club?
hard
What's a
part-
gimmicky
well,
club?
Here's the hard part about going out tips for New York for someone in New York.
Sky
I know
bar.
anytime that I
Okay,
that I went somewhere new, and I knew very little to nobody,
Mhm.
but I wanted to go out.
Mhm.
I wanted to go out where everybody went. I didn't want to go out where the tourists went.
Yeah,
example, like if I went to Orlando, for example, right? Orlando and like Wednesday does like some like margaritas or two out Tuesdays like Senior Frogs, but Senior Frogs like more of a touristy thing now. Even though it turns like a big party is a touristy thing. Well, that's cool, but I actually want to know like where would you go on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
I want to go hang out there,
Yeah.
right? But the hard part about that is you have to. You know, there's been plenty of times that we'll meet people that are like, "Where's a good place to hang out?" Like, "Oh, you should try it here."
Yeah.
But
Anything that's like the most popular, or if, like you're like reading it on a travel site, and it's like got a lot of votes,
Don't go.
I would not go there.
Yeah.
But also, going out in New York is very expensive. So
It depends how you
I
want
mean,
to.
ironically enough, we went to Florida one year. I was like living with a few people, and we wanted to go to a cabaret. So everybody kept saying, "Oh, go to this place, go to Cheese, go to Cheese, go to Cheese." So we get there.
Is it
like-
11 like the thing?
It was just like you're just in the parking lot. It's like this isn't my scene. Like no, this isn't right. You look it up on the reviews. It's got all these like great reviews. So Lou like walks in, checks it out. He's like, yeah, no. So he asks the cab driver, I'm looking for this type of cabaret with this type
Well,
of back.
you know what else has really good reviews? Olive Garden.
Hold on, but why
Okay,
does
just saying.
The guy tells him, oh, you want to try sugar daddies? So Luke goes, all right. So Luke checks it out. Luke goes, this is the place. I know it's the place. I said, why? They just had a shootout 2 weeks ago.
Okay, fair enough. Like
the difference of reviews
yeah.
of where you should be.
But that's, I mean,
It's like
we've
they-
been in a couple places where
yeah,
like,
I mean, they just had an altercation, so that's the place to go. 'Cause that means they get a lot of attention.
remember that time the DJ was like, somebody's got a gun, get down, get down, get down.
It was
And
very close.
we were just like, oh fuck. But there was like an altercation over a pool table or
game.
something like
Yeah,
that.
you got
Oh
bumped
man.
into the-
Wait, what was this?
This is
what was it
Tobago?
called? Tobago?
Was it there?
Yeah,
Or
Tobago, yeah.
Where? When?
Maybe before their name was that?
No, I think Is their name Tobago or Togoba? I always get the name confused.
Here in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
uptown.
way uptown, but
Just, whatever.
but
Yeah.
I like
I always
it.
get
I
the
like
name
uptown.
confused. I liked it up there though.
I miss.
It's like
See,
a
I
huge
like
sports
it more
bar.
up there than like the generic clubs here.
Well, yeah.
Like if you go to like, I don't know,
That's true. I haven't been to a club.
like
I
Lavo,
can honestly say
like
I haven't been to a club since I was like 25.
What-
I go to like
so-
lounges and stuff like that. Yeah.
So if you were getting a hotel, where would you stay?
If I were to come to New York and I was
Because
getting
I feel like
hotel,
that's a pretty
I
solid.
would stay either downtown.
First of all, what's your budget?
Well, okay, budget friendly wise, I would not.
What's
stay in
budget
Times Square.
friendly?
I wouldn't stay in Times Square.
200 something.
Yeah, Times Square is not the place to
I would
be.
stay like downtown, like Soho.
Okay, hang on. Let me. I'm
downtown
thinking.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was not busy.
If you're coming from like Paris or Tokyo or something like that, like probably you would want to. Like I would want if I was.
Midtown.
I mean, I would want to be in a kind of touristic part of those other cities. I feel like. So I would want
Yeah,
vice
but there's more
versa.
touristy. Like to me, Washington Square Park is just as touristic as Times Square.
I mean, if somebody's watching us, like I would recommend probably staying
I
somewhere
would say like
downtown.
downtown.
Yeah, like the standard hotel. How much
Soho,
those
yeah,
places
Standard,
cost?
Like
I have no idea.
West Village, Meatpacking, like pretty
Like
much.
this place next
Pretty
door,
much 14th Street and below is where I would
20 something.
recommend staying.
20 something.
200 minimum.
Yeah, 20 something.
They're like 300 a night.
Yeah, at $300 or $400 a night. And then you walk outside, and there's literally somebody like a
Yeah,
needle,
and there's someone, yeah,
needle sticking out of their ass, their fucking pants down around their
offering you
ankles.
some too.
I just walked on 8th Avenue. It's not a pretty sight.
It's bad, right? That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, every time I walk around that corner, I'm like, please don't touch me.
The whole way. I was doing that.
Yeah.
I see.
I keep my head straight. I don't look up. I don't look down. I don't look up. I don't look around. I'm not intimidated, but I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to start anything.
It was this morning.
I don't. Not
If
gonna
there was no
respond.
corona, I would have stayed 6 feet away. That's
Yeah,
how
even
it is.
then, I'm just like, fuck.
Somebody this morning, I had the helmet on, and he was talking to me, but he was like, I couldn't understand the words that he was saying. You know the guy that wanders around the
Was it
building?
like yelling?
No, he was like talking to me. You know the kind of weird guy that like gets. He stole the candy that day. He like would come in and ask for like a Hershey Kiss or something weird in 803.
803? Yeah.
And then one day he came in.
Adam's friend.
Yeah. And one day he came in and just started taking piles of it. And I told him he couldn't come in anymore.
Yeah.
He was talking like that guy just rides the elevator. He talks to himself. He's like, yeah, but yesterday. Don't know what he's saying. So the guy's talking to me. What I made out was he's like, man, you've been eating well. I can tell. Can you spare some change? Look how skinny I am. And I was like, wow, you motherfucker. I'm listening to a podcast with my helmet on. So, and who the fuck talks to somebody with their helmet on?
The funny part is that he remembers you that long. He goes, wow, you got bigger. Well, I think about the picture I sent you. You look dead and skinny.
Oh,
I know.
Dead and skinny is right.
Yeah.
So, but hotels downtown.
I would definitely say either like 14th and below.
Or 5th Avenue, anywhere if you could afford it. If there's
Well,
always
duh.
If you're gonna do like, you know what? That's true. If you want like nice views, Central Park views,
Central
I would
Park.
definitely do like
Or
the
there's
Mandarin,
Brooklyn.
the Mandarin, and in Brooklyn.
How about this?
Well,
How about a
Williamsburg.
hotel with a really nice rooftop?
Williamsburg Hotel, they have a rooftop. They have a lawn upstairs as
Everyone
well.
has a rooftop now, though.
But
No,
not a
but
good
this
rooftop.
is views of like the whole.
Oh, the best
city.
rooftop.
Yeah, but Williamsburg is a cool place if you got a rooftop bar because you're looking into the city.
Exactly.
Whereas
This
you-
is what it is. It's and if you get a room, most of the rooms are facing the city.
I say the Standard Hotel's got a good one now.
Yeah. That's the best.
You guys
in the
remember my
city.
birthday story about the Standard Hotel?
We were a part of. We weren't a part. Like we weren't there.
Well,
but
no,
we
you
part
were.
of the aftermath.
You were there when
We were there the day after.
Martinez came in. Do you remember that?
We're talking
I
the
gotta
same
talk about it on
Standard
camera.
Hotel.
Yeah, Standard Hotel. And I tried to get a cab to go down there. It was we did my birthday in the office. It was the year we had like 3 cakes, the Batman balloons, the stripper.
Nah, I remember.
Oh no, I remember that part.
And I'm
No, I
trying.
remember.
I'm trying
There's
to
always
get.
cake.
Wait, no. That wasn't the stripper year. That wasn't the stripper year.
Yeah.
That wasn't the
I
stripper
like how
year.
he said under his
He's
breath,
like,
now he's
there
like
was-
out loud. He's like stripper. No, it wasn't a stripper. It wasn't a stripper.
He was like, "There's a cake." Well,
Okay.
Um,
I thought you were talking about the year with Sky.
that was the year. That was the year. That was.
hold on. When that was after when you jumped in the jacuzzi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
Crosstown Day.
No, that was here.
803.
That was
Oh
803.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, that was bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad one.
Okay.
But it was a nice hotel.
And yes, that's probably the nicest rooftop
Is it?
lounge in the city.
Okay, so
that turns into a nightclub later on.
See, and that's what I was gonna say. I'm definitely not into the nightclub thing, but I also am not into going to bars and sitting around talking. Like, to me, it's already expensive to drink when you go out anyway, but nothing's a larger waste of money than to go from your house or your home where you were drinking the same thing that you were gonna go, and you were drinking the same thing and having the same conversation with the same people to change sceneries to where now you're paid 4 times the same amount.
I feel like
to
I'm
talk
under.
to the same people.
I feel like I'm
That
under.
is asinine to me.
I feel like I'm under personal attack here. That's one of my favorite things to do.
I'm like, who does this shit? That always bothers me. I'm like, so you paid $20 for this rosé bottle, huh? And then now it's costing you $18 a glass. Wow. And who are you talking to? Oh, the same people.
No, but I like that.
That's true.
like to me, go somewhere where there's like even and again, to me, it's not so much that you have to dance or you have to meet people, but at least go to an environment where it feels changed.
It's there.
Yeah, like it feels changed.
I disagree. I want to go to a nice bar with a cool atmosphere. I want somebody to serve me drinks. I want to be, if I want food, I want to be able to order some food.
Until like
I just want to be able to
PM.
chill.
Until 11 p.m., right?
Or
Yeah.
2 a.m. when you just can't drink anymore or stand up.
Like that just, I've always that's always been like the funniest thing to me.
Exactly.
Like, all right, guys, we gotta go out. I'm like, where are you gonna go? We're gonna go to this bar. Why?
Well, also in New York.
That was my next question.
No,
Why?
hold up
Going out
though.
is like-
Not everybody is as fortunate as us to have fucking 5,000 square feet where they can just chill out and play music and hang out for free and buy a $20 bottle of scotch or whiskey or vodka
Fair.
and chill. Most people who live in New York, their
It's not
apartment
20 though.
their apartment is the size of this room here, right?
Well, yeah.
And they're not going to be able to invite guests over.
Well, they can. Maybe 2 or 3 people.
I mean, depending on the apartment. You're lucky enough to have your own 1-bedroom apartment. When was the last time? When was the last time you invited Brian, Adam, and I over?
Actually, I've been to Vito's
You've
apartment.
been to.
Yeah, well, I went to your apartment one day.
He loaned me a shirt so I could get to
Still,
where do we go? Like a
but
Greek bar or some shit?
point is though, is a lot of people aren't going to bring a lot of guests over to their apartment.
Which is fair, but again, my argument isn't the going out. My argument is it's like it's almost like it's ruined the pregame.
But that's what I'm saying, is that's what you got.
At point in time was you pregame was like you come over, you have some drinks, and then you go out and you party, right? And that was like the whole purpose of the pregame. Well, now what has happened is you pregame, but you go out and continue doing the same thing you're doing pregaming because the fun didn't change. You're like, all right, let's go out. Okay, we'll take this table of 10 in this corner by ourselves, far away from these people. I want to be all the way over here by ourselves. And yeah, that same scotch that I just poured the bottle that cost me $60 is now costing me $16 a glass, and I get half this pour. I want it. You know I'm going to end up ordering 4, so just keep them running, right?
So I drank some scotch last night. Yesterday was a bit of a stressful day. I don't usually drink that much when I go home, because sometimes I'll have a drink or two. I usually don't drink that much at home, but I realized I don't have much of a scotch selection outside of, because I drink all the cheap shit. So I opened a bottle of scotch.
Oh, so you open up the good stuff.
No, it was open already. I don't know it was good stuff, because I have a couple. I got the 15-year-old Macallan that you got me. There's another bottle of Macallan that comes with a big red box. I got that one. There might be one other bottle of Macallan. I don't know. But this was like a 12 or 14 year. Came in a purple case. It said double cask. And I drank like half the bottle or so. I got home early yesterday.
He doesn't drink all of it.
Or maybe it was Wednesday night. I don't know. It was Wednesday night or either.
Half the bottle, shit.
He has a half a glass.
I was also, I was working. I was working.
Bottle. I'd be sleeping.
So, I don't know, like how, because usually if I open something up, I'm like, oh, this is a cheap one, or this is an expensive one. Because I wasn't really sure on this one, and it wasn't like on the rack.
It wasn't on your top shelf,
It
right?
wasn't high up there. I just kind of drank the end of it. Like,
I can't remember the last time I really had liquor.
That's why I didn't offer you any scotch.
I wasn't gonna drink it.
Wait, what did you have last time?
I don't remember that. Last time I had.
Oh, so you had liquor.
What did you have?
The last time I remember having liquor, like even when I started drinking, I mean, I had like a shot in 1942, but like,
Okay,
it was Class A. I was doing my fault.
Oh, at Adam's house.
for Amanda's birthday. But outside of that, like, I can't remember last time I had liquor. Hibiki was always my favorite whiskey.
Oh, remember?
What?
Introduction.
Yep, the Hibiki. That was when we first. That was when the whole Genius Chronicle was starting.
Yeah. We went.
Wait, wasn't it? No, it was
19.
the
Bar
roof,
54.
The
Bar
roof,
54.
the roof for like New Year's or Christmas or something like
the
that.
day before New Year's.
Yes.
Before New Year's.
We was
Brian
like,
walked all the way to.
why did we go there? You went
I
to
don't know.
were we dropping off leases or something? We were doing
Hey,
something.
we were
Alright,
going
guys.
to SDG.
All
We were
right,
going
guys.
to SDG.
I'm gonna bring us back on track.
Hold on, no, this is gonna circle back.
All right, so circle back. This is
back.
for you, by the way.
So this bar is like one of my favorite. It's
It
a
actually
little
is
bit
a really nice building.
touristy,
It's
but
in
it's
Times
like
Square.
one of the bars that has the most amazing views in the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you see everything.
What bar?
Bar 54 at the Hyatt Hotel.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
on the 54th floor, has a terrace,
Oh,
and you're
shit.
looking
It's like,
straight
was it
down.
like 44th and 44th, 45th.
Not 54.
54th, I think.
But it's not 54th on the 54th
No,
floor.
It's 45th.
It's because it was 3 blocks from the ball drop. That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 40. It's in the Hyatt Hotel.
It's called Bar 54. 'cause
Okay.
it's
So
on-
where is this going?
It's on the 54th floor.
It's in a
Okay.
great
Where's this
location.
going when it comes
it's
to
a
New
good-
York City etiquette
It's a
and
good
tips?
place to go for
go.
a tourist
Yeah.
Oh.
because you
100%.
have views
So-
of the ball.
But that's my advice for
higher-
tourists:
You
is
have Empire State
rooftop
Building,
bars.
so you could go at this rooftop bar, not pay $50, and just get the drinks for $60 and enjoy the view.
So I spent a lot of not a lot, but I spent a decent amount of time in the Empire State Building. We have different landlords, and I had to go there a lot of times.
True.
Every time I'm there, I feel a little this kind of queasy feeling because I'm afraid we're gonna get hit by a plane or something. I'm in a high target establishment right now. Like this,
Yeah.
this building is like, you know.
I went there once. It was like that. I was like, oh.
I went there once to meet a friend and she was showing me like their gym that they built for them. It's built by Equinox, and I felt safer because it was underground.
That shit falls, it's gonna crush you.
Yeah, but he has a higher chance of just like running up and getting up.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's time
Yes.
for topples.
But the thing is, like,
I think
it
it was
wouldn't have
false.
hit me if there wasn't that level of security.
You talking about the guys
When
in
you-
front ringing their bells?
No, like all the new things you can't go through, and like the blocks of concrete, the slabs of
Well, I
concrete
have
on the
ever since that
sidewalk.
guy from Times Square.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Probably not a story we should tell on this show. But,
Oh, no.
What else?
Etiquette. Oh, don't stand
Oh,
in the doors of the
etiquette.
subway.
Don't call
when
a
people
New
are walking
Yorker
out.
sir or ma'am. They hate it.
Do they?
Oh my god.
You say that all the time.
Yeah, and I always get. Don't call me that. I'm not old. I'm sorry, I'm country. They forgive me because I used to. I'm country.
Oh
part.
God, yeah. I've never called anybody sir man in my life.
Yeah, no, I do.
You usually do that when you need the person to calm down.
Well, no, I
Sir.
don't. That's what I'm like. Oh, yeah. No,
Sir.
I do it, and it's either condescending or honest. It's one of two directions it's gonna go.
Oh man.
It's never for any other reason.
What other words should you not use with a New Yorker? Is that a thing?
Well, there's probably words that you shouldn't use with anyone, so we can add those to the list.
Well, yeah. Okay. So, but let's.
And then there, I don't know if you could say words for a New Yorker versus like, yeah, no, I just don't think there's like
Yankee.
Yankee.
That's.
No, people from the South.
They're gonna call you a Yankee.
I've never called you a Yankee.
Rush says that Gansford.
Which one?
No, I don't know.
Because there's one right next to the Standard around there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Then there's one on the east side in Midtown. Like Midtown.
Oh, isn't the
Kips
Gansford
Bay-ish.
across the street from the Standard on?
It's. Yeah.
So things I feel like
No, I don't know.
I've been to so many different places. A lot of times I'll go someplace like not knowing that I've been there before. I'm like, oh, this looks really. Oh yeah, I was here before.
Oh, when numbers go up, you're heading uptown. When numbers go down, you're heading downtown. Most people didn't know that. I didn't know that. Fifth Avenue is the center of Manhattan.
True, because not everything is on a grid.
Yeah.
Like all cities are not on a grid.
Yeah, Fifth Avenue is pretty much the center of Manhattan.
Yeah.
So you can always tell how far away you are going from the city based on the building number and whether it's east or west. It's telling you how far away it is from Fifth Avenue and if it's in the east direction or west direction.
That's in our new agent questionnaire. We hire our new hire questionnaire. We hire somebody. We haven't filled out this questionnaire.
That's the
And
same question.
I've added these.
Apartment on.
Yeah, I added these.
But I never get people like, oh, is this where I'm like when they stop you for directions? We have iPhones, we have smartphones. How do you not know
Well, no,
where
so
you're going?
a lot of times people ask for directions typically happen to be older, where they're not technologically savvy.
First of all, if you're older, you probably know how to read a map.
Yeah, but who carries a fucking map anymore?
Old people.
I've seen
Like,
it.
I
I've seen
can
it
I just
last
tell
year.
you-
I've seen it.
I was
And they were not
as you
even
said it,
old.
man,
Oh,
I
if
remember-
somebody has a map, that's a tourist, and they probably don't
Yeah.
speak English.
Yeah, no.
Just
Like I gotta say, the last time I seen a map, like when my parents, I was like 8 and we were driving to Florida. I remember them like every time they went through a toll, they would ask for directions,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But they're like still with this big ass map, like, and I'm like, you know, thankfully I grew up in a town where that shit is no longer needed. I don't even know how it will function with a map.
I like maps. I hate GPS.
Oh.
But look, back on topic. Rosh just made a good comment that you let people off the subway. You were starting to talk about it, but if you're about to board the subway, you don't stand in front of the doors. You let people off first. Same thing goes for an elevator. And basic etiquette would be that you're not up on top of the doors when they open up.
I would say the same thing for walking in and out of a building. I always let the people that are walking out the building go out first before I walk
Fuck
in the
yeah, it's
building.
exit is like has the right of way. And that's a general rule.
Unless it's raining or it's fucking cold outside.
Maybe not the
Raining,
cold.
yes.
Maybe not the
Raining,
cold.
yes.
Raining?
If it's raining and I come up to a door and somebody's at the door, no, I would say, okay, good.
I would open the door for you.
Yeah.
I was
So
going to say, if you're the one exiting, going into
If
the
I'm
rain,
getting-
chances are you're going to let me
Yeah,
in
yeah,
first.
if I come rushing the
You're an
door,
asshole.
if I come rushing the door and you're like, no, I'm going first, and I just got to stand and get rained on like this, you are an asshole. But yeah, a lot of people don't get that. So how do you not fucking figure that subway thing out? Like, how does that?
Some people don't care.
I don't even think that they don't figure it out. I think they just don't care.
They don't care, or it's just like, oh, dude.
But like, you're probably not getting on. Like, people will physically push you out of the way.
It depends. Like sometimes people don't know who's getting out. Depends how crowded the subway is. If it's super crowded, then you.
Well, it's not very crowded. You might be more. You'll know if somebody's gonna get off, so you can be at the door because there's windows on the door.
Because if it's crowded, 100%. There's a lot of people going off.
I mean, those morning time subway rides are very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're like standing with your arms like up here and your other arms down here. You're like, I just want to read.
Well, so that's the other thing on the subway.
Or
I see
breathe.
people reading like this.
Yeah.
I-
And then me, I always get
I mean,
extra
dude, just
space.
give up. It's
I
not
bring,
the days
bring
of
my
your
gym
book.
bag with me, so I get extra space. I put my gym bag down.
Oh god. Okay, so when you're sitting on the subway, there's this whole thing. I can't like get my legs that close together. I get some big thighs, and I have
Big
male
thighs.
genitals, so like my legs don't go together that easily. I try not to. There's signs everywhere that says you don't spread your legs. What is it called? Man spreading?
Yeah,
Man
I think this is man spreading.
Yeah.
I think this is sitting appropriately. Like I don't think I can sit like this a train ride. They don't even feel right doing it now.
But you're supposed to not spread your legs very much.
I think that's for the people that be like,
Yeah, like when people do that, because honestly, you're like, excuse me, and that's fucking a nightmare or just.
and people that leave their bag next to their
You're also
their seat, right?
you're also not supposed to place your bag on the seat next to you. Now, if it's an empty car,
No, it's
fine.
like 100%.
Although in New York, you're sitting at there's 4 people on a car that fits 106. There's 4 people on this car. You put your bag next to it. Somebody's gonna walk up to you and be like, "Oh, why are you using the seat?" But I mean, that's definitely gonna happen.
It happened to me when the coronavirus started, and I was not wearing a mask. So this woman wearing a mask, like it was when it wasn't really happening here,
Okay.
you know. And there were seats, they were empty. And I'm going back home. I have no mask, no nothing, and she's coughing in her mask, all that stuff. And she sits right next to me. There's other empty seats where they're not next to people.
Yeah,
Are
that's the
you
point.
mad?
Like, why?
I'm like looking over here, like,
It's like if you're.
I'm blowing this way. I'm bringing this way.
But that's like, when you're in a bathroom and there's 9 urinals and you're only using one, the rest are free, and somebody rocks up right next to you and just how about the Mets? It's like, all right, dude.
There's certain rules in life.
Oh, God.
Walking slow, I think you guys covered.
Yeah, we covered walking slow early on, man. Walking slow, stopping, walking diagonal.
Yeah.
And when you gotta get to your subway, and there's a person walking slow down
So
the
fucking
stairs,
slow going down the
And
stairs,
the
yeah.
train is there.
You
It's
never
like, I
wanted
know
to
it's not
take
your
a break.
train.
Oh, I got.
Oh my god, you wanna push them?
So there's a couple that lives on the second floor of my building, and if you live on the second floor of a building, like you're probably taking
the stairs.
You take the stairs. All right. So when the elevator comes down, and it's a full elevator,
You gotta wait for
elevator comes down and stops at the second floor. This happens often. All right. There's one couple.
It's always the second floor.
And
It's
every
always the same
time,
thing.
right as the door's open, somebody wants to say something so that like it kind of gets heard.
Yeah.
Like under their breath, but loud enough. Like, why not take the stairs? But this is the kicker, and I love this. I wanna hug these guys. They're both in wheelchairs. So if they don't find the humor in this, because if I was in a wheelchair and because the joke is on the person that says the shit. So like that's the best part.
How did they get put on the second floor? The irony.
Well, there's not apartments on the first floor, right? So like,
there's an elevator building.
well, I mean, if there's a fire, like you're not gonna crawl down 6 flights. You can slither your way down a flight and a half, right? So.
No, but there's people without.
You could take the. Oh my god! I'll take the stairs. You get on.
Oh God. So, but that's one of my favorite things of being on the island. But really, if you're on the second floor or the third floor, you should walk. When I lived in Harlem, I used to walk down from the 5th floor. I used to walk up to the 5th floor, even though there's an elevator. The elevator was just slow as shit. Like,
Yeah, I use my stairs.
I just think you should stay in that building.
my current building,
You know the Go Park?
Yeah.
the old one.
Better apartment in there. Like
Yeah, but it
you-
didn't have much of a view. I always wanted to move to the 5th or 6th floor that looked south.
It was in the middle, right? It was in the
Because your
middle.
building behind that
It's
building
not that much.
was 2 stories shorter. So from those top 2 floors facing south, you had a good view, and it's south facing, so you get more light.
Yeah.
Mine faced the courtyard,
Yeah.
and it was facing north and facing the living room looked at a brick wall or something. The kitchen looked.
It was inside of the building of the court.
It was in courtyard facing.
I feel like all the south facing building units were 3 bedrooms though.
Yeah, most of them were.
Yeah, no, the corner units were all 3 bedrooms.
For the money that you pay, where you know. When
Dude, I moved in 1525 when I moved in. I think it was like 1795 when I left, which is a steep increase if you consider I was there for 3 years or something.
It is actually really big.
2012, 13, 14, and I moved out in 15.
Do you know Riverside Drive, 157th, and you go down?
Yeah,
it's
there's like 2 Riverside Drive.
enclave. A 1-bedroom there was $1,300. You walk in there, the bedroom size was as big as all of this.
What?
Yeah.
Who
It was
was it?
East Coast. The bedroom size was huge. It was like king size plus.
Oh man.
$1,300.
You're taking all
When was this?
It's like 200 bedrooms.
2015.
That's like Adam's apartment though.
$1,300.
It's probably the only original 1-bedroom left in that building.
Adam's apartment was like 1,700, and we offered like 1,525 or something. We were like $200 off.
You got it.
And I was like, "There's no way this is happening." But back then, his management company liked us until we brought them a bad tenant, which was Adam. I hope he's watching this.
I mean, still a $200 discount though.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a great deal.
That was cool.
Rashi saying don't hug the sidewalks. If you're in a group, 3 or 4 people.
Oh yeah, don't have it.
Yeah,
Just
walking
standing
shoulder
there.
to fucking shoulder with people is
You gotta walk
like.
in pairs, like a line.
Oh, that annoys the shit out of me. When there's 5 people and they're all spread out.
Yeah.
And you're walking this
Should you
way,
say
you're
something?
like,
I always say excuse me.
Oh yeah, you say excuse me.
And I
Yeah.
purposely walk through the middle.
now, excuse me is not the words that are in my mind, so I don't say anything.
Well, a lot of times people just don't realize it. Because, you know, because there's been times we'll walk, and next thing you know, we're all side by side,
No.
and not even realizing it.
No.
Talking about, we have a whole
Never.
picture.
Never.
We have a whole picture of us crossing the street.
But yeah,
Side
That
by
was
we gotta-
done. That was done consciously.
we gotta give.
when we were walking out. You know.
We got a GIF.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're walking across the street.
Yeah.
Jiff. I That was pronounced GIF.
That was across the sidewalk.
So I learned this. So GIF, as I call it, was originally, when it was invented, graphic
We don't know.
something. The guy, the inventor of it, made a comment about like peanut butter, Jif peanut butter, and his Jif .gif. So originally it was Jif. However, it transformed into GIF by the general public, and has since slowly become GIF again.
Yeah.
Like, it's only been the last 2 or 3 years I've heard people say GIF, whereas I've been around computer people for a very long time. Everybody called it always GIF. So it's becoming GIF again. I'm sticking with GIF because that's the way it's comfortable coming out of my mouth.
I have no idea.
Well, you'll be a really detached parent when you become one.
I will be a very detached parent. You're
You
right.
gotta be a parent that's in the know what's going on. You gotta
I just educated you as to what's going on.
No, you educate me as the history of stuff. It's still
I'm not, just because I'm not
My daughter
participating.
says GIF, it's a GIF. She's 10. She
Yeah,
is.
so, yeah, no, she's right, because that's how it's working. That's how it works. I don't have much else unless you got something.
So what did we cover? Walking out and then in the subway.
We covered the people in Times Square. We
Walking
covered
slow.
walking. We talked about
Hotel stay.
taxis. We talked about hotels.
But maybe you want to take the picture from the people that are outside of Times Square, because anywhere in the world you don't have that going on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like
You like a
there's
fucking-
only one
like
Times
a hilarious
Square.
photo with them. Whatever.
I mean, pay for the
Oh,
Yeah.
Rock's got a good one. You don't bike on the sidewalk. So people rent bikes, tourists rent bikes, people rent bikes. It's illegal. There was an old commercial, I wish I had it, where somebody was biking on the sidewalk, and the commercial was like, if you bike on the sidewalk, you're a jerk. And then there was a bunch of people being like, hey, you jerk, get off the sidewalk. That was a commercial. And then, like, biking on the sidewalk is now illegal under whatever mayor. So biking on the sidewalk is illegal.
Yeah, biking on the sidewalk has been illegal as long as I've lived here. I never knew it to be legal.
Oh, God, that pisses me off big time. Yeah, it pisses me off big time. I mean, I get, like, I will, sometimes I'll, like, pull up and zoom into the freight entrance and, like, dismount the bike in the freight entrance. But I will only do that if there's no one anywhere around me. Our live video's over.
Alright.
Oh.
Nice. So we're not live anymore? Or is it still recording? Apparently Justin recorded us the other day without even knowing.
No.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I said, listen to it. Let me know. I was asking you.
Listen to it.
I was asking you
I didn't listen to it.
if you were comfortable. I'm going to listen to it anyways and edit it, because there's things said that I wasn't, maybe comfortable having released. But
And I was not aware it was being recorded, because there's things that you need to elaborate on. When in my mind at that time I was like, fuck it, I don't care, I don't need to.
that's why I was like, shit, yeah, this is good stuff. But I didn't. I like 20 minutes into the conversation I started.
Yeah.
So
I think I was like, yeah, I gotta go piss.
that's fine. Everybody, you're live now. You got to take a. I got to take a piss. That's why I want to end this.
Like you said the live was over.
The live was over. You're still being recorded.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And people piss. That's a thing they do.
Yeah. We could just like walk the fuck out.
Okay, so
I gotta take a piss.
you gotta go. No biking on the sidewalk.
Start it back up.
Yeah. What else? Well, we're recording here.
Oh.
So, what else can you think of?
No biking on the sidewalk. Jaywalking is perfectly fine as long as you look both ways.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, you're in a fucking cab. You're in any vehicle, and you're about to get out. Look first.
Right. Yeah.
As somebody who rides bicycles and fucking motorcycles,
Because it's illegal to ride it on the sidewalk. Now they're riding along the.
I've been hit by a
actual
door.
sidewalk.
I've been hit by a door before. Oh, God, it was so bad. Luckily it didn't, because you got your hand here. Luckily it didn't hurt my hand too badly. When the guy opened the door, it was this hand. It was right. It was in Midtown, right around here.
So
And the guy opened his door with his foot, and
Bike or motorcycle?
I was on the motorcycle.
Wait, hold on. Who opened the door? Why
Some
would you
dude in
open
the cab opened the door, like he opened it and then pushed his foot out on the door. He had a briefcase or something in his hands, and as I drove by, the door like pushed me over. I was underneath the bike and fucking pissed, and the guy the guy tried to help me out. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was mad. It's hot outside, hot summer day. I'm sweating. I'm almost to work, and he reaches over to help pick up the bike, and he grabbed the exhaust pipe, which is one of the hottest components on a.
He knocked the bike over?
No, he knocked the bike over. He knocked the bike onto me. I was underneath the bike, basically. Like half my leg was underneath the bike.
You couldn't just like.
And
So you weren't riding the bike?
I was riding the bike. He opened the door. As the door opened, I went like this.
Oh, so it cut.
Boom. And then my leg was underneath the bike. He reaches over, grabs the exhaust pipe, and I just hear, ah! And then he flipped his messenger bag behind him, tucked his head, and just ran.
Oh, it's like bacon.
I mean, I feel bad for him in retrospect, but at the time I was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" Like that's what you get. Like you gotta be aware in New York. You have to be paying attention all the time.
It's like a jungle.
It is a jungle because like shit's happening and you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like fucking ACs fall out of windows and crush people.
Mm.
I wish I don't know how he does.
Me neither, which is why I've never installed.
Listen, I don't know if this shit is true or not, but
No,
just
remember
next subject.
remember last year? Some lady got hit by a brick.
Your AC is falling out a window and you're just like very stupid. You need to play
Someone-
the fucking thing.
Someone trying to install it.
They didn't put the anchor.
What do you mean install it?
Picture-
Anchor in
You
it.
you can't even call it install it because you just gotta put it in.
No, you have to get the anchor for it
Of
to
course,
sit
yes. But
Yeah.
if you put the
You
window,
know how
there's
heavy a
pressure
fucking
and
AC
you-
is? You know how heavy an AC is?
on.
Not that heavy.
I remember when I first moved here, I was dating a girl, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to Home Depot, and I'm going to buy an AC. Should we rent a car?" I'm like, "No." Didn't make
You
any
just gonna
sense.
walk with it?
So I was. Now it was the beginning of the relationship. It was the beginning. It was the beginning of a lot of blocks in Astoria. You know where the Home Depot is in Astoria, right?
Yes.
Like on Northern or something like that, right? Down there, it's like Long Island City-ish, I feel like. I don't even remember where it is, but it's somewhere down there. Yeah, there's like a Home Depot and a Best Buy down there in like the 40s.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's right above
There's
Northern
a Home
Boulevard.
Depot. Is there a Home
Anyway.
Yeah, there's like a Chili's, there's all this shit down
So you
there.
said you was gonna walk it 15 blocks home?
It wasn't a huge AC, it was for a bedroom. So it was whatever, 2,000, 5,000, whatever. So I've committed.
60, 70 pounds.
So I've committed now to doing it, to hold it, to carrying
You
it.
picked up that first time, he's like, shit.
I know. I was like, it wasn't that bad. We get like half a block, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I managed to do it. I think I like invented reasons for us to take a break. Like, oh, I just gotta check my phone, so I'm just gonna set this down for 1 second. I think my phone's ringing, like stuff like that. But
So his arms can start burning for a second to pick it back up because you can't let them completely unburn because it'll tighten up.
Yeah, it's heavy if you gotta walk like 5 blocks and it's already heavy.
I mean, when I carry 12 packs of seltzer home.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's I hate buying fucking
Exactly.
soda
That's
and beer and
Jesus.
shit like that because you gotta carry. That's the other thing about New York is that when you go grocery shopping, if you take a push cart, that's like a major mistake unless you plan to take a cab or something like that.
Yeah.
If you take a cab, the guy, how many trips are you gonna make to and from the cab to your apartment?
Oh no, I do everything in one.
So that's my
Yeah.
point. So when
You
you're
do the
loading
Uber
that shit
SUV.
up, when you're loading that shit up, you need to be cognizant of how much you can carry to your apartment door.
I only use a push cart when I lived in East Harlem. and that's
What do you mean? He
that's-
waits. He waits downstairs. You unload the things in front of your door. You pay the guy an extra tip, and then you carry it out.
I just take everything in one hand and I get it to my building door, and then from there I'll get it all upstairs.
Depends how much shit you have because.
I mean, it's only one of me. It's not like I'm buying
True.
for a house of 10.
True.
Oh man.
We do it. It's like it's.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's a pain in the ass is grocery shopping, for certain. That's why I always take the handheld thing instead of the cart.
Yeah, but you have so many apps that you can just like
yeah, I
order
don't take
things.
the shopping cart. I never take the shopping cart.
There's apps you can order things.
There's
True.
Fresh Direct. There's mini bar for alcohol.
Or you just call the liquor store. and they'll do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just deliver it.
I don't know about any of this stuff. My alcohol collection is zilch.
Yeah. Well,
I've never had a alcohol collection.
one like a bar. I think I have like a place where stuff goes now. I think like my medical masks are there. My hookah goes there.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm running out of shit. I'm sure I will think of a lot more shit once this is over with, but that's all I got. You got anything?
Nope.
Raj, you got anything? People hugging the pole. Oh, Raj, you're really putting some thought to this. You don't lean on the pole. You don't wrap your arms around the pole in the subway. You put your hand on it.
True.
Also, you don't. Some weird ass people on the subway. I'd
rather put my sleeve around the pole than my hand. If I had to choose between leaning on the pole and touching the pole, I lean. Really? Wash your shirt. There look like germs on your hand and shit.
I go full. Yeah, I don't wash hands.
No, I hate when people. No, you should not lean when the fucking shit is crowded.
Well, especially if it's crowded.
Because like people are trying to like hold on so they don't fall like back and anything. Yeah. And if a dude is like just like leaning on the whole thing when the subway is full, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Speaking of piece of shit, it's probably fecal matter somewhere on the subway poles.
As well.
All right, that's it. We're out. This is over with. Thank you for your time and consideration. Have a nice day.